r/AskReddit by Reddify. What is the most awful way to break up with someone? Suddenly. And without warning. Act like they don't exist. Just stop acknowledging them. No matter what they do. Awkward if you live together alone. I see what you did there. My girlfriend's brother broke up with his girlfriend on Valentine's Day. After a nice meal together. In her favorite restaurant. It's like when Fluffy has to be put down. You give Fluffy her favorite foods, and take her for a walk at her favorite park, and then you shoot her in the back of the head. Are the olive mice and men strategy. Text message on Christmas after 2 years together with zero reason for the breakup. Find out later it's because a girl was sleeping on his couch and he wanted to duck her. I knew a guy who do this habitually. Break up with his girlfriend via text from another girl's bed. Sleep with said girl. Then get back together with a girlfriend in the morning. They were on a break. Send them an email about it on their birthday. And leave a voicemail about it that they end up playing in front of their birthday party guests. Classic schmoss B. Surprise. Post an AskReddit question asking how to break up with someone. Then sending a link to your this ducking guy. I'm guessing he gets this on a lot of his comments. My husband broke up with me over a text. While I was at work. We work for the same company. I'm picturing you both sharing a cubicle while this happened. Slowly turns around whilst glaring. Try to get them to initiate the breakup by being unlikable on purpose. You aren't saving their feelings. You're ducking them up. Edit. The karma helps a bit, thanks guys. 3. Or just be naturally boring. Works every time. Works so well with me. I've never been in a relationship to begin with. This was a long time ago. My girlfriend that I lived with had been cheating on me with a few different people while I was gone at work. I found out through a lie and then proceeded to see all the info on her phone. Still tried lying at this point to me. Anyways. Advance about a month where I had slowly been trying to get out of the apartment. I planned when to officially break up with her because it made sense realistically to do it later. It was the day and she got hit by a car. I got a call near the end of my shift that I had to go to the hospital because she was there. They made it sound way worse on the phone. So I get there all worried and she's totally fine. Just a little bruised. Her mood is normal and she was smiling. Well, I did it. I broke up with her that night. The amount of anger and hate that came from her for doing it on that day of all days. Ha ha ha. So I had to explain the amount of suffering I've been through at her hands and the hit I would have to go through in the future now because I've lost this important thing called trust. It was a pretty bogus breakup, but hey. I can say I've dumped someone the day they were hit by a car. Lol. Ring ring, hello? Yes. This is a hospital. You need to come here quickly. Your girlfriend was hit by a car. She's not my girlfriend. She says she is, and you're listed as an emergency contact. Oh, she was my girlfriend the last time I saw her. But do you mind telling her I've decided to break up with her? Thanks, cheers. Brutal. I never had feelings for you. I was just lonely and horny. And you were there. I'm sure you were too. Ghosting. I had a girlfriend that I dated for about 2 years. The relationship dried up, and I tried breaking up with her. She refused. Tried again a week later, and it wouldn't work. Anytime I would try having a mature conversation, she would find a way to stop it from happening. Eventually I had to ghost. We were at a concert, and I said I was going to the bathroom. Walked out of the venue. Grabbed a cab. Blocked her number and social media, and that was that. I felt guilty about it at first, but I'm hoping that in the future she'll realize that trapping a guy in a relationship isn't healthy or fair to anyone. I've had this happen to me. She didn't understand why I wanted to break up with her. I tried avoiding her while living in the same city. I realized she was crazy when she found my burner dummy Facebook account and sent "Did you think I wouldn't find you?" Went off the grid for a few months after that. Holy hit. That was scary. Mid-coitus. Can I still finish? She finished first. Followed closely by the relationship. When you break up with them, tell them their junk tastes nasty. They will be self-conscious about it the rest of their life. Had an ex try this with me. I brushed it off with "you don't have to taste it anymore, so enjoy that," to which he tried a different tactic and said, "I hope your next BF enjoys your tiny tits." I laughed and said I enjoyed them enough for myself, so I didn't need a guy's approval of them. The win where I have enough self-confidence to withstand the immature, self-conscious deadbeat trying to tear me down. Don't be a peen, guys. By not breaking up with you officially, basically breaking up with you but never letting you know that you are broken up, you just finally get the hint when they've gotten distant and have started noticeably spending a lot of time with someone else. Then when you finally break it down to brass tacks in order to find out where things officially stand, they brush it off like no big deal. Like you weren't ever really a thing, shocked that you somehow weren't aware of the circumstances. And if you push it, they act like you're the crazy one. I call it the lunatic version of dovetailing. Dovetailing being when you just sort of cruise from one relationship into the next without any overlap. This is the psycho turbo slud version of that. That's probably the hit east. I'd honestly rather be ghosted. Holy hell. Are we the same person? Went through this a few months ago. Dude was comparing me to his mother, telling me how crazy he was for me. Then when he started seeing someone else, it was, we didn't really hang that much. So you can't be that upset over this. Well, it's probably pretty common, unfortunately. I've had 2 relationships that ended with that garbage. It's like the ultimate gaslight, especially when you actually stop to question the reality. Did I make more out of the relationship than it was? Was I reading into things more seriously than they were? Should I feel embarrassed for obviously getting the wrong impression? Then of course you realize that's nonsense because you've totally been seeing each other regularly for 6 months or longer and regularly screwing and sleeping over and spending time together and making plans and talking. I will say I'm not sure that comparing their girl to their mother is entirely a good thing and could be a flag, hahaha. I think that depends highly on the mother though. Get on one knee and say girl's name. I'm ducking your sister. Better yet, write the message on a picture of you ducking her sister and roll it up inside an engagement ring box. Better yet, put a smartwatch in the box and play a full video. Duck finally. It's over. Yes, I ducked him. You didn't satisfy me. Now get out of my car. My ex the other night. Duck, that must have hurt. It's alright though. You don't have to deal with an asshole like that anymore. Must have. Or must've. Sending her roses anonymously. Then, when you find out, accusing her of cheating. Not anonymously, but with a made up name. Who is this Janice you're talking to? Yeah. I don't think this is going to work out. I broke up with an ex right after she swallowed. Backstory, this was probably 6-7 years ago. My girlfriend and I were together for 1.5 years and I adored her. She was my first legitimate girlfriend. Among other firsts. Everything was awesome. We never fought. She wanted to see me as often as I wanted to see her. Which was nearly every day. Eventually though I was positive she was cheating on me. See, she had introduced me to her new friend from her history class. He'll BNN lived in his parents' basement. Went to our community college. Played video games and delivered for a pharmacy. Except his parents are loaded. So the basement might as well be another house under their house. Hot tub. Heated pool. Huge TV. Bar. Gym. The works. And I hung out with them occasionally. But I started feeling that something was going on between them. One day he stopped talking to both of us. I had tried to text him to see if he wanted to chill. Because we'd become pretty good friends at this point. But he was busy. A lot. Fast forward like a week. I'm at home in bed. Sick with the flu and a migraine. She kissed me, said she loved me, and that she was going to go to the movies with a friend. I get a text later that she was breaking up with me. Turns out the movies was a trip to the movies. But it was a date with some different guy. It destroyed me. I became depressed. My panic attacks worsened. And I made some bad decisions for a while. Though now N is free and we hang out. I had introduced him to my friends and he quickly became part of the group. Just when I had moved on 3-5 months later, she sent me a text wanting to talk. She wanted to get back together. I was extremely excited. and took her back. And she was being extremely, affectionate. I couldn't trust her anymore. And I clearly wasn't to her what she was to me. I was so easy to toss aside, and I could do better. So I did the same to her. Zipped up, left, lit up a cigar, and walked to a friend's house. I told everyone about my afternoon. N told me later that the reason he stopped talking to us was because he and my GF were fooling around. She had been telling him that I was a terrible boyfriend who never cares for her and treated her badly. Then we met and hung out a few times and he saw that none of that was true. He thought I was a great guy and a good friend and didn't want to hang out with me if she was going to be around. He's now one of my best friends. We are currently coding a homebrew Pathfinder campaign. I lost it at the last line. Send a mariachi band to their workplace to sing a song telling them they are now single. The topic said awful. Not the best. Making them watch you kill their entire family, then spell out "we are done" on the wall with the blood. Once you're done, just casually untie them and walk out like nothing's wrong. Write out "we are done" onion rings with the blood. Onion rings. Tell them you still really love them and wished it could work. But don't tell them specifically why you're breaking up. Don't do that. X broke up with me like that. Newt Gingrich broke up with his wife while she was going through cancer treatment. Phil Collins faxed his wife telling her that their marriage was over. Newt Gingrich broke up with his wife while she was going through cancer treatment. He had presidential ambitions even then. So when he broke up with his cancer wife, he told her that he needed to be married to a Jackie Kennedy type person. And that she was no Jackie Kennedy. Gingrich later cheated on and divorced the woman with whom he had been having an affair while married to cancer wife. Newt Gingrich is a very bad person and a firm believer in family values. I've never heard of this person until now. So I thought you were talking about a Harry Potter character. Lol, pay for the flight to go spend some time with you. 2 days and decide you're not feeling it and literally leave them stranded in the state for 3 days. Edit. Wow. Did not expect this much of a response for this post. For anyone who cares. Here's a story. Boy and I had a long distance thing. Anyway. This back and forth went on for years. I'm a hopeless romantic. He had a lot of emotional baggage, but we had so much chemistry that we tried over and over to make it work. We decided it would never work and went our separate ways emotionally, but stayed in touch for years after. He breaks up with a GF. I break up with a boyfriend. We decide, hey, let's go bang it out like old times and see where it goes. Except I had no idea his issues with depression were that bad, and I happened to have gone during a serious bout of depression. He's later diagnosed with bipolar disorder. I end up meeting many of his friends who are expressing worry for him. He does hit like send me out to go hang out with them and say he'll meet up later but never does. I'm like, hit. This is not going to end well for me, because guess who was staying at his place throughout this entire time? Das right. About day 2 inches. He tells me he needs time to be alone for the night. I start panicking internally because I know what this is. Thankfully, a friend of mine left me a key to her place just in case. She was crashing in my room back home, so this worked out perfectly. He had something of mine and I went over to pick it up. We were heading out to brunch when halfway there he stops dead in his tracks and says, "I'm sorry, I can't do this," and just leaves me there. It got played. Not all was lost, however. Thanks to the wonderful world of online dating apps, here's to peen on the internet. I spent the last 3 days getting dug out by a hottie, so OTBH it was a pretty good time regardless. My ex-GF had an ex do that to her. Except it was in another country. He literally packed his bags while she was asleep. Got on an airplane and left without telling her. After dating her, I'd say she deserves it. I nearly did the same thing when we were overseas together. I like that you went from being appalled to agreeing with the behavior. I think I will tag you as an akin. She told me she wanted an open relationship. I said no. She spent a week trying to convince me how much fun it'd be. I still said no. She said she was sure I'd say yes because she had already started having an open relationship. I said that was cheating. She said no. Just a miscommunication. And did I want to change my mind now or break up? I said break up. What a bitch. She said she was sure I'd say yes because she had already started having an open relationship. That's not how it works. That's not how any of this works. Make sure to like and subscribe so we can watch together.